Hi all, Lee Varis here with Phototech Tuesday. Each week I'll be posting a new video about photography, technology, art, and everything in between. Today we're going to give AI a rest and turning to Photoshop to create abstract symmetry from a single seed image. I've been creating what I call photo-mandalas for quite a while now, and I'll reveal my technique here. This is a fun, easy to do technique that involves multiple layers and different blend modes in a recursive development of shape, tone, and color. You can create these very interesting super symmetrical abstracts from a photographic original. And the results are always kind of surprising. You never know what you're going to end up with, but very often they are quite stunning and just a lot of fun to create. So we're going to take a look at that right now. Okay, so here I am in Lightroom, and I've got a collection of images from one of our trips to Venice. We go to Venice for Carnival every year, and one of our stops is the island of Burano, which is a colorful island. You can kind of see these very colorful shots here. Anyway, I have some shots in the canal, and I'm often kind of looking for things that I think will create a really cool photo mandala. So I'm looking for kind of lights and darks and shapes and contrast. And I particularly like this particular image here. And here's another version, the vertical version. And what I'm going to do is I want to crop a square out of this as a first step. So we'll come over to the develop module, I'll get my crop, and I'll select one by one. And then I just want to crop, I want to get this complete shape in there. So I'm just cropping to make sure I've got that whole thing. And all right, good enough. So we will go ahead and edit this in Photoshop. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll see you in Photoshop momentarily. All right, so here we are in Photoshop, and this is our starting place. Okay, so we're going to create this photo mandala by copying into additional layers, changing the blend modes, flipping and rotating. And we get started first by jumping this into a new layer. So Command or Control J creates a new layer. And this layer now I'm going to transform. So I'll go Edit, Transform, and we will flip it horizontal. So the image will flip, and now I can see I've got, kind of the flipped version of the image sitting on top of itself. And the real trick here is to start playing with blend modes. So the two blend modes I most frequently use are either lighten or darken, and they both change the effect of the image. So let's look at lighten. So lighten says use whatever pixels in this layer 1 here, whatever pixels are lighter than the underlying layers, use those pixels. And so we get this kind of interesting blend where I'm only blending the lighter elements together. And this is just step one. So now we have side-to-side symmetry, and we're going to duplicate or merge these two layers, the effect of these two layers, into an additional layer. So I'm going to hold down the Alt or Option key and select Merge Visible. And that will place a copy into a layer. So this layer is exactly like the result of these two blended layers. Right, so now we're going to take this and we're going to flip this vertically. So I'll go down to Edit, Transform, and I'm going to flip vertically. Right, so now it's flipped. And guess what? We're going to change our blend mode, and we're going to go ahead and change it to lighten. So as you can see, we're slowly building up this image. And now we have top to bottom and right to left symmetry. We have one more thing we can do here. So we're going to duplicate or merge these three layers, the effect of these three layers, into an additional layer. So I hold down the Option or Alt key and select Merge Visible. And now we have that. And this time for my transform, I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, and then you guessed it, we're going to do lighten. And we can actually play around with things. So here's lighten, right? And you know, I can kind of work with this. Let's see what darken does. Okay, so now I already have two different versions of this photo mandala. So we can each one of these layers can be changed in terms of what the blend mode is to get a different result. Okay, if I end up with something like this, sometimes I'll look at the channels to see if there's if I get a channel that has more contrast in it. So you can kind of see red is almost no contrast. Green is similar, but blue has an interesting take on the contrast in the image. So, okay, so that's kind of interesting. So I'm going to go back to my layers here, and I'm going to make an empty layer by clicking on the empty layer icon. And then I'm going to go up to my little friend up here, image, apply image, and we're going to apply the blue layer, or the blue tonalities, let's say, into this layer. Okay, so the blending in the apply image only works if there's something in that layer that we're blending into. Since it was empty, it's like doing normal, right? So we've got a copy of the blue channel of this composite layered image into the top layer at the top. Now we can play with another blend mode here. We can do something like luminosity, right? So now this luminosity is placing a little more interesting kind of contrast into the image, right? Or we can do something like overlay, which has a different effect. Okay, so there's all kinds of ways to dress this up. I'm going to bail on that, and I'm going to change the blend mode here to darken instead. Okay, and I'm going to keep these three layers. I'm going to put these three layers in a group so we can explore different ways of generating a photo mandala here. So we'll make a new group from layers. Okay, and that's just going to be, I'll just leave it at group 1. So those are what transform this original image, these three layers, into this kind of super symmetrical abstract. Okay, let's try this again. So we'll duplicate the background layer, Command or Control J. I'll flip it. So I'll go over here to Edit, Transform, and we'll flip horizontal. Now this time, instead of going lighten, I'm going to do darken. Okay, so this is a little bit different. We're getting started in a different direction already. So I'm going to do merge visible. So I'll hold down the Alt or Option key and select merge visible. And now I have another layer here that I can now flip. So I'll do a transform and we'll flip it vertical. Okay, now this layer, let's do lighten. So I'm building up the symmetry again here. And we can go one more here. Hold down Option or Alt, and I'll select Merge Visible. And this layer I will rotate 90 degrees. So we'll do Transform, rotate 90 degrees, and we'll do Lighten. Okay, so now I've got another set of another photo mandala. So we'll take those three, we'll put that into another layer, another group from layers. It's my group 2. Okay, so now I've got two different photo mandalas from the same original seed image. And you can get the idea here. We can just keep going with this to get new and different mandalas. Let's try one more. So we'll do our Command or Control J. We will flip that. Let's flip this instead of starting with horizontal, let's flip it vertical. Okay, and then let's do darken. It's a little bit different, right? And we'll do our merge visible, holding down the Alt or Option key so I get a whole new layer. Okay, and this layer we're going to transform that to flip it horizontal. And let's do lighten again here. Cool. Okay. Let's again do our merge visible trick, holding down the Option or Alt key, and we'll do merge visible. We'll rotate that. And now let's see, we'll try darken. That's kind of interesting. We'll try lighten. Well, I like lighten. Okay, so there's our third version. And we'll do new group from layers there, just so we can toggle between these. So I've got this version, there's my original, there's this version, and there's that version. I got 3 versions, and that's basically how you do it. You can kind of see how almost any image, as long as there's some contrast there in that original one, we can use this sort of recursive process of building up these layers to create these different photo-mandalas. And what happens if we combine them? Let's combine this layer and and that layer, and now we got a kind of a weird, complicated one. But you can kind of see how this all works. Well, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and hopefully this has provided some inspiration for your own creative explorations. Oh, and you can check out my photo mandalas every Monday. I post 3 photos a day on my Instagram account, and Monday is Mandala Monday, where you'll find my latest creations. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you don't miss another Phototech Tuesday. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.